amakambirana maripoti motsogozedwa ndi gawo 47 ndi meya ya malamulo yoyendetsera zokambirana za aphungu m'nyumbayi. Ndipo ndondomeko yoyendetsera zokambirana m'nyumba ya malamulo ikuonetsa kuti lero aphungu ayamba zokambirana zawo ndi malipoti a makomiti ya nyumbayi, malipoti a ntchito zina za nyumba ya malamulo komanso mayankho pa malipoti a makomiti. Kumbali ya boma ndondomeko ikuonetsa kuti aphungu akambirana mabilu komanso malipoti a ntchito zina za nyumba ya malamulo. Well, if you're just joining us, welcome to our live broadcast of parliamentary proceedings in the 2025-2026 budget meeting of Parliament. It is a Wednesday, 9th April 2025. Under government business, the order paper indicates that the Assembly will tackle bills and statutory reports. We now cross over to the chamber for today's deliberations. My name is Fanny Mbwana. Stay tuned.
Before we commence business, let's invite the Lord God through prayer. Let's pray. Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness has appointed the office of the rulers and parliaments for the welfare of society and the just government of the people, we ask you to behold with abundant favor us, your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of important trust in this land. Let your blessings descend upon us assembled, and grant that we may try and consider all matters that shall come under deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of this country and of those whose interest you've committed to our charge. Amen.
General business, communication from the chair.
A very good afternoon. Honorable members, the office of the Speaker so far has no any communication to be made. Otherwise, just welcome you and wish you a very fruitful business day today. Stay blessed. Thank you.
General business, presentation of committee reports. Report of Parliamentary Committee on Industry and Trade and Tourism.
I see leader of the House. I understand yesterday we had agreed that we first tackle bills and then at a later stage go back to reports. But leader, the floor is yours, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Honorable First Deputy Speaker, and good afternoon, the Honorable House. I beg this afternoon to beg that we waive our order paper just to go along with what you have already indicated and which was already agreed yesterday, that we'll start with the sugarcane bill, that is bill number 16 of 2025. Thereafter, we shall go to bill number 17 of 2025, the mental health bill. I beg to move.
Thank you very much, Honorable Leader of the House. Honorable members, there's a motion that we waive all relevant standing orders in order for us to tackle government business, 3 bills, and we start with bill number 16 and later bill number 17, both of 2005. Those of the bill say aye, and those of the contrary say no. The ayes have it and the motion is carried.
Item 3, Government Business, Bills, First Reading, Bill number 16 of 2025, Sugarcane Industry.
Honorable Minister of Agriculture. Second reading when? I'm being told that we need to waive as well. Okay.
Mr. First Deputy Speaker, second reading, I beg to move that the Sugarcane Industry Bill 2025 be read for the second time today and now, and I also beg to move that all relevant standing orders be waived to allow the bill to be tabled, discussed, and passed, owing to the fact that this is a bill that has got a lot of economic and social interest for the country, so we need to deliberate and have it being passed into law. I beg to move, Mr. Second Deputy Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister of Agriculture. Members, there's a motion that we tackle Bill number 1605, Sugarcane Industry. It has met the 7-day minimum requirement. However, it doesn't meet the 28-day requirement as stated in our standing orders. However, look at its importance. We need, as a House, agree that we tackle this bill now. Those of the opinion say aye, and those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it, and the motion is carried. And, Honourable Minister, sorry, I will ask you, second reading when? Don't want to combine the motions, it'd be irregular. Second reading when?
Today and now, Mr. Second Deputy Speaker, sir. First Deputy Speaker, sir, I apologize.
Thank you very much, Honourable Minister of Agriculture. Honourable members, there's a motion that second reading of Bill number 16 of 25, Sugar Industry, be taken today and now. Those of the opinion say aye, and those of the government say no. The ayes have it, and the motion is carried.
Government Business, Bills, second reading, Bill number 16 of 2025, Sugarcane Industry.
Honourable Minister of Agriculture.
Mr. First Deputy Speaker, the bill before the House seeks to regulate the growing of sugarcane for industrial purposes, transportation and sale of sugarcane, the determination of sugarcane price, and the sharing of benefits derived from sugarcane byproducts. As honorable members are aware, the sugarcane industry is not regulated, thereby exposing the sugarcane industry stakeholders to a hostile operating environment. The absence of a regulatory framework in sugarcane industry has given rise to many challenges. Some of the challenges include high levels of mistrust among industry stakeholders, resulting in detrimental synergies. Secondly, potential investors in sugarcane products manufacturing consider Malawi as a risky country due to the absence of proper law that regulates the business, hence not willing to invest. Number three, rampant side selling of sugarcane by growers due to inadequate regulatory framework on sugarcane contracts, as well as farming and marketing. Number four, growers produce sugarcane under contract farming and marketing arrangements are being exploited due to inadequate regulatory framework on sugarcane, as well as the contracts that they have. And lastly, there's too much energy directed towards litigation instead of sugarcane development due to numerous lawsuits among sugarcane industry stakeholders as a result of absence of regulatory framework. To this end, Mr. First Deputy Speaker and honorable members, the bill before you, among other things, provide for a number of things. Number one, establishment of the Malawi Sugar Industry Commission. This commission will be charged with the responsibility of regulating, promoting, and developing the sugarcane industry in Malawi through registration and licensing of sugarcane industry players. Number two, the powers of the Commission to issue, suspend, and revoke certificates, licenses, and permits to various activities in the industry, as well as issue regulatory orders and sanctions of to ensure compliance. Number three, this law, if passed, when passed, it will establish a sugarcane industry tribunal to ensure the expeditious development and determination of appeals from decisions of the Commission. The panel will be appointed by the Minister and will comprise a retired judge, a crop scientist, and any other person conversant with the sugarcane industry. A person aggrieved by a decision of the panel on a matter of law will have a right of appeal to the High Court. Offenses with respect of breach of its provisions and prescribed penalties of the breaches will also be there. And lastly, powers to make regulations for smooth implementation of the law. Mr. First Deputy Speaker, I have no doubt that this bill, once enacted, is expected to enhance productivity and increase investment in the sugarcane industry, improve the quality of life of sugarcane growers through enhancement, income generation, and strengthen Malawi's competitiveness in regional and global sugarcane and sugar markets. Mr. First Deputy Speaker, on the basis of the stated reasons above, allow me to invite the honorable members of this august House to support the Sugarcane Industry Bill 2025. I beg to move. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister of Agriculture. Spokespersons, beginning with the DPP, I see Mango Chimankipe.
Thank you very much, First Deputy Speaker, for allowing DPP to respond to this very important bill. First Deputy Speaker, Bill number 16 of 2025 is one of the best pieces of legislation that this Parliament is going to legislate. There are times that we have legislated laws, but today is a special day, First Deputy Speaker, that we are legislating a law for a special industry. The industry that has operated for too long like a jungle without any rules to apply. And yes, indeed, they have gone through periods where they have had so many challenges amongst the stakeholders. So, and most of the disputes that arose had ended up without being determined for lack of proper laws. First Deputy Speaker, all too often those that are very dominant in the industry have been victimizing those that are less dominating by unfavorable decisions that have been taken. This will now be history because we are here to discuss and pass a law that will bring sanity to the industry. First Deputy Speaker, this law, proposed law actually, intends to introduce a commission. So by introducing a commission, they are introducing a body that will be regulating this industry. The bill is also proposing to introduce a tribunal where if you are not satisfied, an aggrieved party is not satisfied with any determination either by the commission itself, or indeed you have just been aggrieved by a fellow stakeholder, you can take your issue to the tribunal. And this is also very, very commendable. First Deputy Speaker, I would like to commend the bill on behalf of the DPP, because in the bill there will be requirements that there will be provisions that will require people to register. So those who are called growers will be required to register. Those who transport will also be required to register. And those who actually mill will also be required to register. There will also be instances where your license can be revoked if you contravene certain prescriptions that have been put in the law.
There's also a provision that while growers and even other stakeholders were free to form associations, First Deputy Speaker, they can form, of course, different types of associations. But this bill now requires that all those associations have to be consolidated together and belong to an apex association. And this is another thing that we think it's a milestone and it has to be highlighted. And another important thing is that all these associations now have to register with the Commission. So this is also very good. First Deputy Speaker, Section 45 specifically says that no grower shall deliver to a miller that he did not sign an agreement with. This will also bring sanity because you can't just grow and decide to take to any miller you think of. With this law, you have to make an agreement with the specific millers to take your sugarcane to. Again, Section 46 says that a miller who is milling your sugarcane shall allow you to witness the weighing and even the testing of the sucrose. This was something that was not there. So when you take your sugarcane there, they were weighing even in your absence, and even the testing of the sucrose was done in your absence. So it was very easy to be robbed of. But this time, First Deputy Speaker, that will not be there because you will have the liberty to actually go and witness. I think this is another milestone that we have to highlight. Section 49 talks of importation and exportation. First Deputy Speaker, you know sugar is a crop in this country that is both food crop and cash crop. And it is important that we control its availability in this country. If it is too much, it has to be exported to generate revenue, forex for that matter. If it is not adequate, we have to make sure that we import some so that people have got enough sugar in the country. So this has been taken care of in Section 49. And it says that everyone, while under the First Deputy Speaker, you know that for one to import and export goods or products, you can do it by getting a license under the Goods Control Act. But this time, with the introduction of this bill, of this law, there will be a commission where you have to get an approval first. So for sugar, you cannot just go and get a license now to import and export. You have to get an approval first from the commission to allow you to import and export. And this is very, very important, where we believe that factors of demand and supply shall come into play before that approval is given. First Deputy Speaker, along with our approval as a party of this particular bill, we have some concerns, and I want to raise them. One, I want to say something about the composition of the commission. First Deputy Speaker, one is the number. The bill says 10 members, and we are saying, why do we go for even numbers when we know that commissions are like boards and sometimes they indulge into voting? And we should always come up with the odd numbers when we're coming with boards. So I think we can play around this number. It is 10. We can play around with it, maybe put 11. Now I want to come up to a second issue in the composition of the commission, the issue of one of the members. It says a person of good standing in the society. And the First Deputy Speaker, you know that you cannot objectively define a person of good standing in the society. If it was in a family setup, I would say somebody who doesn't cheat his wife is a person of good standing in the society. If it is in a sport world, you would say anyone who supports Arsenal is a person of good standing in the society.
On a member, you're out of order.
If it were in a political...
Your time has elapsed.
Absolutely. First Deputy Speaker...
Just one game, you're making noise.
First Deputy Speaker, if it were in a political setup, I would say anyone who does not hide areas from his colleague or her colleague is a person of good standing. So the reason you have seen people murmuring, on my definitions, First Deputy Speaker, is the very reason I'm saying you cannot objectively define a person of good standing. And therefore, I think our drafters should now stop, because they are putting this on each and every bill that they are introducing into this House, and we are ending up amending. And I'm sure this time we are also going to amend by removing it. Because, you know, a person can be of good standing today, maybe because he has no money. The moment you appoint him or her into this board and start touching money, he will quickly indulge into heavy drinking and adequately complement that with heavy smoking, and he becomes a person of bad standing. What are you going to do with that person? So, First Deputy Speaker, I am aware that some people who do not shoot do not shoot.
Honorable Member, we've just opened tobacco auction floors, so mind your language.
Thank you. First Deputy Speaker, I just wanted to liken this to a situation where you see many people who don't shoot, and you think that they don't shoot because they are good people. Sometimes they don't shoot because they don't have a gun. So let's say that this definition is not it cannot be objective, and therefore we can decide to remove this one and replace with someone else. The other person that we have concerns with is the chairperson. It says the minister shall appoint the chairperson. But it has already said the people who shall be in the board: a chartered accountant, an agronomist, an economist, a lawyer, and the 3 principal secretaries. All these will be there. And then it says the minister shall appoint the chairperson. Who is a chairperson? A chairperson should be elected amongst themselves. So it's not, because there it leaves room for loopholes. Who is the chairperson? What's his qualification? What's his profession? There are already professions in there, and it says there shall be, the minister shall also appoint the chair. So maybe this is something that we can also look at. So 2 are out, then we have 8, and then perhaps we can decide to include now the relevant ones. Look, this is a commission that is going to manage an industry, and we have not included anyone who has vested interest in the industry. There's no representation of the growers. There's no representation of the millers. We need to include them in there. So, First Deputy Speaker, we have done with tobacco industry. I think anyone here can agree with me that we have seen how we passed that law. We included the people with vested interest in the Tobacco Act, in the tobacco industry. We have also done it with the national construction industry. We have included people with vested interest. What's wrong with the sugar industry? We need to include people there with vested interest. First, Deputy Speaker, I want to end with 2 issues. One is the issue of monetary penalties, where, according to our drafters, they always put not exceeding, but they don't put not less than. So if you say you want to deter some contravention that people do, but a penalty, the way you are putting a penalty, you are saying not exceeding 10 million, it can be 1 kwacha, it can be 0. The judge can say, don't pay anything, because the law says not exceeding. You have to say not exceeding, but not less than. So I think maybe our drafters can now start looking at this area, not to give too much freedom to our judges, because a judge is just one person. We are 193 here, and I think we can make a better law and shape it better. And the last thing I wanted to end up with is the issue of quota. First Deputy Speaker, many times we have promoted the participation of Malawians into businesses through laws. We could have used this particular law to promote participation of small-scale growers or even medium-scale growers to participate in this business by improving their quota. As it is today, how many growers are allowed to take their sugarcane to the millers? Most of the sugarcane that is milled by the millers is a sugarcane that the millers themselves have grown. So millers are also growing sugarcane, and they are milling their own sugarcane. And here we are talking of different types of stakeholders when, if we are not careful in future, we may be dealing with only one stakeholder, the miller who also grows sugarcane. So I think it is very, very important that we have to protect the growers by giving them a proper quota. Maybe say 50% of sugarcane should be grown, that should be milled, should be from the growers who are not milling, and the other 50% by the millers who are also growing. I thought I should say that first, Deputy Speaker, but also I am surprised that you did not congratulate Arsenal, which has done wonders yesterday. You know, when two big teams are playing each other, and one has beaten the other in a humiliating way, it is very necessary to acknowledge the work that the other team does. Somebody was commenting, First Deputy Speaker, at lunchtime to say, we know the Gunners in Kumazulu. So the game, the first leg which they have played in the morning, they have scored 3 goals. How many goals should we expect from the second leg, which they will play in the afternoon? So I thought we should end at that lighter note. But seriously, this is a bill we support with the consideration of some amendments. Thank you very much, First Deputy Speaker.
Thank you very much, spokesperson for DPP, Mangochi Mankibe. Very, very apparent points that you've raised, and I hope the minister has taken note. We now go to UDF, Mangochi South, a farmer herself, a big farmer for that matter, a commercial farmer.
Thank you, First Deputy Speaker. I stand on behalf of UDF. UDF supports Bill number 16, sugarcane industry. First Deputy Speaker, as my colleague has said in DPP, this bill was meant to come many, many years ago. But anyway, it has come, and I think we legislators here should approve it. First Deputy Speaker, I would like to remember late Martha Lundi. I'm also remembering our former speaker, of course, he's not dead, he's still here, that these two people have fought for this bill, have been standing here on behalf of the growers. I know they're growers themselves. And I'm sure wherever you are, former speaker, you're going to celebrate.
He's around.
Oh, he's around.
And I will recognize him immediately after you speak.
Okay. And late Martha Lundi, may her soul rest in peace. She fought for this, but God took her away before this bill came in. First Deputy Speaker, I think sometimes we take long to do things. This industry has been there for a long time, and there were no regulations. Our colleagues who are millers, as I've mentioned, they've cried in this house on all the wrongs that were going on. Everything, anything, whatever, if there are no rules, no regulations, people just do as they wish. And sometimes those who have got more money can suppress the others. It's the same in the tobacco industry. Those days when things were just being done anyhow, we know a villager couldn't grow tobacco. Today, although it's got its own problems, but at least it's been, everybody can grow it. Now, I wish what Mankibe said, time has come that Malawians themselves should have the opportunity to grow whatever they can in our own lands. Now, if you see the millers, I think they're growing almost all the sugarcane. Very few, I don't have the percentage, but I'm sure it will be clarified that very few Malawian growers are growing. So this bill, we're trying to protect also the millers who have a great portion of growing the sugar cane themselves. But I wish one day we'll see that Malawians also grow the sugar cane themselves, more than what is being done now. Mr. First Deputy Speaker, most of the technicalities my colleague has said, and I don't want to repeat what he said, but also there's going to be a report. So I'm also in the Agriculture Committee, so I don't want to preempt what the report will say. So I further leave, I think it's our chair or any representative from agriculture who will present the report and also amendments, and I hope those amendments will be approved. So I won't say much because it will be repeating what the report will say. But one thing which we forgot, I think, when we met with the sugarcane grow associations, I can see here section 16A, it says funds will be appropriated by Parliament. Hey, is Parliament going to be standing the expenses of this commission? Or is it just a normal phrase that we always do, and yet the commission will be self-sustaining? But if it's Parliament, we'll be getting money to finance this commission. I don't know, I think there are many, many commissions which we're creating. Are we going to be able to afford? But unfortunately, I didn't ask when we met the associations. Mr. First Deputy Speaker, UDF fully supports, but there's I don't know whether, maybe it should be in another bill, where a lot of our sugar is being smuggled. Sometimes we can have a shortage here, but our neighbors have our sugar all over the shelves. But maybe it could be in another bill. But let me say it since I've got the opportunity of speaking. So, First Deputy Speaker, UDF fully supports this bill. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Mangochi South, Commissioner, spokesperson for UDF. Is the chairperson around? Would you have a report from the Agriculture Committee? Okay. I see the Vice Chair in Chisi South.
Thank you very much, Mr. First Deputy Speaker, for allowing Nchisi South to present a report from the Agriculture and Irrigation Committee. I rise today on behalf of the Parliamentary Committee on Agriculture and Irrigation to present our findings and recommendations on the sugarcane industry.
Honorable Chairperson, Vice Chairperson, you first read what is there on the folder. You first ask, so you say, I stand to present item on the order paper under my name. Chair, just say, I beg to present a report. I know the list of areas is not with you, so I understand.
Thank you, Mr. First Deputy Speaker. I stand to present the papers under my name on behalf of Agriculture and Irrigation Committee. I beg to move.
Thank you so much, Vice Chairperson. Sergeant at Arms. Honorable Vice Chairperson, Parliamentary Committee on Agriculture, do you wish to speak to your report?
Yes, Mr. First Deputy Speaker, I would want to speak on them.
Please proceed in front to the dispatch box, sir. Thank you. Chairperson, you forgot here. Former Malawi young pioneer, officer, senior officer, amene anagwira kudzanja la kamuzu ali msitikali apo.
Mr. First Deputy Speaker, I rise today on behalf of the Parliamentary Committee on Agriculture and Irrigation to present our findings and recommendations on the Sugarcane Industry Bill of 2016, a bill that is both timely and critical to unlocking the untapped potential of Malawi's sugarcane sector. Let me begin by acknowledging the unwavering support of the Right Honourable Speaker for your committee. I also thank my fellow members of the committee, the Secretariat, and then various stakeholders, especially the Sugarcane Growers Association of Malawi, for their valuable input. Mr. First Deputy Speaker, sugarcane is one of Malawi's key agricultural commodities. Yet, despite its importance, the sugarcane industry has operated for decades without a clear legal framework. The result has been a sluggish industry hindered by poor stakeholder coordination, unfair trading practices, and inadequate regulation. This bill therefore seeks to fill that legislative vacuum to lay the foundation for the growth, transparency, and fairness in this vital industry. Mr. First Deputy Speaker, your committee, in its wisdom and guided by Standing Order 125.3, reviewed this bill, and let me highlight some of the most pressing issues that were identified. Mr. First Deputy Speaker, the proposed composition of the Sugarcane Commission is discriminatory. It fails to include representatives of both small-scale growers and millers, which are two indispensable pillars of the sugarcane value chain. Your committee has further noted that in our regional counterparts in Southern and Eastern Africa, stakeholder representation in industry boards is the norm. Malawi must follow suit. We therefore recommend that the Commission should comprise of 13 members, of which 2 must come from growers' associations and 2 from millers' associations. This will ensure balanced, inclusive decision-making at the board level. Secondly, Mr. First Deputy Speaker, the bill
imposes mandatory registration for anyone transporting sugarcane to mills. While this might sound reasonable on the surface, the committee noted that many growers and millers own and operate their own trucks, which is a necessary bond out of frequent transporters' strikes that have disrupted production. Requiring these growers and millers to register separated as transporters introduces an unnecessary bureaucracy. We urge that the bill be amended to exempt them from this requirement. Thirdly, the issue of the cane supply agreement is of critical concern. The bill mandates its signing between growers and millers, but it is silent on who drafts the foundational document. We fear a scenario where well-resourced millers unilaterally draft the agreements, leaving growers and their associations to merely rubber stamp them, potentially entrenching power imbalances and oftentimes exploitation. To ensure fairness, we recommend that the Commission be explicitly mandated to facilitate or oversee the drafting process of these agreements. Moreover, Mr. First Deputy Speaker, the bill lacks clarity on whether cane supply agreements must align with Commission-issued guidelines. This is a significant omission. We therefore strongly recommend that the bill be amended to state clearly that all such agreements shall conform to the Commission's guidelines and must also define the Commission's roles on their execution. These amendments, Mr. First Deputy Speaker, are not cosmetic. They are essential. They seek to strike a balance between regulation and fairness, between oversight and, of course, empowerment. They aim to ensure that all players, big and small, operate on a level playing field. I will, at an appropriate time, Mr. First Deputy Speaker, rise to propose these amendments during the committee stage of this bill. In conclusion, Mr. First Deputy Speaker, the committee appreciates the efforts of the Ministry of Agriculture in drafting this bill. We commend the intention behind it, but good intentions alone do not make good law. It is our sincere hope that the Honourable Minister and this House will adopt the committee's recommendations in full so that we can pass a law that is not only progressive but also inclusive and just. Before I conclude, Mr. First Deputy Speaker, I would want to remind the House that today was one of the greatest days where my brother, the Minister of Agriculture, with our beloved President, opened the tobacco market today. I was so delighted to listen to my brother, the Minister of Agriculture, in his speech. It was actually a speech that has brought hope to farmers from Kasungu, Chitantamapili, Nshishi, Noa, Lilongwe, Mzuzu, Palombe, Nzimba. The farmers are actually very eager to continue growing tobacco. As a farmer, I have to thank my brother. He has brought hope into the industry. As a people who grow tobacco, which is one of the most important crops on our land, in as far as bringing forex is concerned. Bravo, my brother, Honorable Minister of Agriculture. Bravo, Dr. Lazarus McCarthy Chakwera. As Malawi, definitely we are moving forward. The sugarcane industry holds great potential for employment, exports, and rural development. Let us seize this moment and unlock the potential in the industry. Mr. First Deputy Speaker, I so submit and I beg to move that this House adopt this report. I thank you, Mr. First Deputy Speaker.
Thank you very much. Vice Chairperson, Parliamentary Committee on Agriculture. We now recognize a seconder in the committee. Anyone to second? Is it Karonga Nyungwe?
Yes.
5 minutes, sir.
First Deputy Speaker, I rise to second the motion, ably presented by the Vice Chairperson of the Parliamentary Committee on Agriculture, Irrigation, on the Sugarcane Industry Bill 2025. This report reflects the collective voices of growers, millers, and the industry experts who understand better than anyone the challenges facing the sugarcane sector. First Deputy Speaker, sugarcane is not just a crop, it is a livelihood which thousands of our constituents depend on it, from smallholder farmers to truck drivers to factory workers. This bill comes to the House not just as a piece of legislation, but as a symbol of hope and reform. I wish to briefly buttress on the 3 areas that were presented by my Vice Chair. Firstly, the proposal to include both growers and millers in the Commission. 2, each from their respective association is a step participatory governance. Is a step toward participatory governance. We must never legislate for the people without involving the people. First Deputy Speaker, secondly, the requirement for every transporter to register is noble in intention, but flawed in an application. Many millers and growers have invested heavily in their vehicles, forcing them to register separately in counterproductive. Let us not punish efficiency. First Deputy Speaker, in the cane supply agreement, your committee rightly calls for a framework that ensures transparency, fairness, and accountability, where the Commission plays an active role in oversight from drafting to enforcement. First Deputy Speaker, I urge this House that let this bill be the beginning of a new chapter for Malawi's sugarcane industry. With those few remarks, First Deputy Speaker, I wholeheartedly second the motion on behalf of the people of Karunga Nyungwe. I thank you. I thank you for your attention, First Deputy Speaker, and the whole House. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Kalonga Nyungwe. So this is how it goes. We first recognize a former Speaker, the Honorable Member for Nkororo North, and then we go to but before we recognize the North curtailment of the report, then we go to general debate. Okay. Deputy Leader? Deputy Leader?
Good afternoon, First Deputy Speaker. I beg to move that we curtail debate on the report in order to give the chairperson time to wind up. Thank you.
Honourable members, there's a motion that debate on the report from the committee be curtailed in order to allow the vice chairperson to wind up. Those of the opinion say aye, and those of the good opinion say no. The ayes have it, and the motion is carried. Vice Chairperson, Nshisi South, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. First Deputy Speaker. Through you, let me once again thank committee members from Agriculture Committee and other few individuals that were incorporated in the committee that we made, which we made, the Sugarcane Agro-Growers Association of Malawi. They actually were on top of things. I can mention Salima Northwest, Honorable Pare, and of course Mangochi Mankibe, who were part of our team that went through the bill together with our colleagues, Sugarcane Association of Malawi. And also let me thank my chairperson, Honorable Sumi Suleiman, who was attending to other issues, but he delegated that I handle everything on behalf of the committee. This is good, and together we are moving forward, because at the end of the day, the bigger picture that we have to look at is the people of Malawi, the people that sent us here to serve them. And also lastly, let me thank Kalonga Nyungwe, who actually stood up in seconding the motion. We do believe that when we come to committee stage, the proposed amendments, which of course we have at some extent, to some extent discussed with the Minister of Agriculture himself, will be taken on board so that the people who own this bill should be happy at the end of the day. Mr. First Deputy Speaker, I beg to move that the whole House adopt the report. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Vice Chairperson of Permanent Committee on Agriculture, the people of Uchisi South. Honorable members, there's a motion that the report, as presented by the Honorable Vice Chairperson and indeed seconded ably by Kalonga Nyungwe, be adopted by the whole House. Those of the people say aye, and those of the people say no. The ayes have it, and the motion is carried. Therefore, the report has indeed been adopted by the whole House. We now go into general debate of the bill. Our right honorable member for Nkhotakota North, former Speaker of Malawi National Assembly, a farmer himself, a sugarcane farmer, commercial farmer. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor, Right Honorable Second Deputy Speaker, for granting us the floor. I will start by declaring my interest in this matter, because I am a sugarcane farmer of 21 years. And throughout the period that I have grown sugarcane, the issue of having some regulation has always been high on the agenda. It is for that reason, Right Honorable First Deputy Speaker, that I stand here today extremely delighted. Delighted because if you ask me, what is it that this bill is bringing to the industry? One word is that it is bringing sanity. There was lack of sanity at every front. The relationship between millers and farmers, between government and millers, between growers and grower associations, there was lack of sanity. And if we are thanking government, we are thanking them because ultimately there will be sanity. The second question, Chair, is what everybody else would ask. Is this a piece of legislation that stakeholders wished Malawi could have? The answer, Right Honorable First Deputy Speaker, is in the affirmative. Those of us who've participated in this process right from 2014, we have had studies drawn from jurisdictions that are growing sugarcane in the Eastern and Southern Africa region. So we've studied legislations in Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania, as well as pieces of legislations in South Africa, Swaziland, and Mauritius. And we find ours to be extremely comparable legislation. However, just as the two spokespersons have said, it is one thing to have a very good piece of legislation, it is totally another to have it properly implemented. And we therefore ask the Honorable Minister that when you are making appointments, please bring in distinguished men and women who love their country. Because this industry, if properly managed, it can turn around the economy of our country. In sugarcane industry today, and in most parts of Eastern and Southern Africa, they are employing what is called zero waste or no waste policy. So the entire cane has got value, products of economic value without wasting anything. And therefore, if we extract sugar, sucrose for sugar, the remains would still be of economic value because we can make fertilizer from the remains, we can make ethanol, we can make ethanol for the spirit as well as ethanol to be used in the blending with petrol for use in our vehicles. We can use that to make cardboards. We can use the remains to make kettle cake to feed animals. At the end of the chain, you don't get anything thrown to the dustbin. We can also produce electricity out of the bagasse that we get as a byproduct. Therefore, if we, as other members have pleaded, Honorable Minister and members of government, as we bring in a law, room ought to be created for as many Malawians as possible to participate in the generation of wealth, and in the process spreading wealth across many Malawians. But the hitch is in the amount of space in the mills. Because in Malawi, we practice what they call miller cum planter type of arrangement. The same person owns a mill and the same person grows sugarcane. What it means is the amount of space left to growers is very limited. At the moment, it is only 25%. So farmers from Hatabe, from Hotakota, from Salima, from Chikwawa, and Nsanje, grouped together, they have only 25% of spaces that are in the mills in Luangwa, Salima, and Mcharo. Now, it will take, therefore, the Commission and indeed government to make sure that a lot of space is created for farmers to play their role in having a lot of hectareage. Finally, Right Honorable First Deputy Speaker, I am speaking here with a heavy heart because 2 days ago, as members of sugarcane growers were meeting members of parliament, these were members drawn from Hotakota, Salima, and Chikwawa. We lost a member by the name of Douglas Maenda. He will be laid to rest tomorrow at Liwalads in Hotakota, and this is why Honorable Kondowe, the MP from Hotakota Northeast, is not here with us. He's somebody who's been in this process since 2014. He was here on duty, performing same duties pertaining to the bill, but he collapsed suddenly and we lost him. May his soul rest in peace. And as Mangochi South was talking about myself and the late Lungi, we will have Mr. Douglas Mayenda remembered for the role he played in bringing about this bill. First Deputy Speaker, I call upon members to offer their support to this important bill. It is a bill that will change the face of the sugarcane industry. With these few remarks, I support the bill. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Nkhotakota North. We go to Sanje Central, where sugar is grown as well. Leader, he had pleaded, so you understand for now. Sanje Central, please.
Thank you very much, First Deputy Speaker, for allowing the people of Sanje Central to say something on the Bill 16 of 2025, Sugarcane Bill. First Deputy Speaker, I rise before this august House to express my unwavering support for the long-awaited sugar industry bill, which has now been gazetted for deliberation and passage into law. This landmark piece of legislation has been in the making since 2014, and today, First Deputy Speaker, we stand at the threshold of a transformative moment for Malawi's sugar industry and the livelihoods of our hardworking farmers, workers, and communities at large. First Deputy Speaker, the passage of this bill will mark a new era of enhanced productivity and increased investment in our sugarcane industry. It will create a conducive environment for all stakeholders, from sugarcane growers, millers, and distributors to vendors and consumers, ensuring that all players in the value chain benefit equitably. Furthermore, First Deputy Speaker, this bill will not only strengthen Malawi's competitiveness in regional and global sugar markets, but also generate much needed foreign exchange for our economy through increased sugar exports. First Deputy Speaker, for my people in Sanje Central constituency, especially the people of Senior Chief Tengan, this bill holds great promise. The neighboring Kaombe Sugar Estate has been a vital source of employment for our youth. With the enactment of this bill, First Deputy Speaker, investment in the sugar industry will grow, creating more job opportunities and enhancing the livelihoods of many families who depend on the estate for their daily sustenance. First Deputy Speaker, this bill also brings hope to sugarcane outgrowers in Chikwawa Central constituency, particularly members of Pata Sugarcane Outgrowers Cooperative, Kasintula Cane Growers Cooperative, and Kama Cooperative. With improved incomes, these farmers will have better access to essential services, education for their children, and improved standards of living. Additionally, Mr. First Deputy Speaker, in Nsanje constituency, communities around Kaombe State who benefit from the Kaombe Trust will witness the increased development activities as a result of a thriving sugar industry. First Deputy Speaker, one of the critical challenges Malawians have faced in the recent years is the scarcity of sugar, a staple commodity in our homes. The passage of this bill will help address this challenge by ensuring that sugar production meets local demand while maintaining surplus for export, thus stabilizing prices and improving affordability for all Malawians. First Deputy Speaker, in conclusion, I urge all my fellow honorable members to support this bill wholeheartedly. Let us pass this legislation and unlock the full potential of Malawi's sugar industry. Let us uplift the lives of our people, empower our youth with employment opportunities, and secure our nation's economic growth through a robust and competitive sugar sector. The time is now. First Deputy Speaker, with these few remarks, the people of Nsanje Central constituency support the bill. Thank you, First Deputy Speaker.
Thank you very much, Nsanje Central. I see Mzimba North, I see Chairperson Agriculture. Who would we recognize? Blantyre City Southeast.
Thank you, First Deputy Speaker. First Deputy Speaker, I'll be commenting on the bill as a member of Blantyre City Southeast, not as the chairman of the Agriculture Committee. And let me thank Honorable Gianna for yielding the floor. First Deputy Speaker, indeed, I was listening to the former speaker. Our prayers are with the family of Mr. Douglas Maenda, may he so rest in peace, who passed away soon after the meeting we had with them. And let me also thank the former speaker for his efforts to have this bill be brought today, and obviously it's got our support. You have done a good job. This is a mark that will always remember you. You have left this mark. You have stood for the sugarcane growers, and we appreciate that. Now, First Deputy Speaker, it's been high time that the sugarcane growers needed their own regulator. In this case, it is another commission that will take care of the sugarcane growers. But we have some challenges, First Deputy Speaker. One is the first and common one, which the big players in this industry are manipulating our smallholder farmers. There's a monopoly that is taking place, and we need to deal with this. One is the fixing of prices for our smallholder farmers. Let me urge the Minister and his team to carefully look at this. We are always saying that we want our smallholder farmers to benefit, but we are ring-fencing them. The issue of fixing of prices by the buyers and the issue of not letting our farmers grow. We are giving them targets to grow 20 tons, and that's it. For 10 years, he'll just be growing 20 tons. Why can't we give them space to grow? That if you're getting a profit and you're doing well, you are serious with your sugarcane business, you can increase your acreage. Grow. That's what we are talking about. So that should be encouraged from the ministry. Sit down with these big players. Let's sort this out. On another issue, First Deputy Speaker, is also for the ministry to consider on the price fixing, maybe to have sugarcane prices included in the farm gate prices. After serious consideration with all the stakeholders, we can also be directing that sugarcane farmers, for them to make a profit, buy them at this price. That could help. Another issue I've seen a loophole, First Deputy Speaker, is on the issue of transportation. We have left it very open that a grower who has a truck can simply just load his sugarcane off to go and sell it. But I thought maybe we should have sanity there. We should encourage them to have a transporters association, sugarcane growers association, transporters association, so that if you are a grower and then you also have a truck, first go and register with the Sugarcane Transporters Association so that you are allowed to load the sugarcane, so that there is some sanity. First Deputy Speaker, as much as we are happy about this commission, the bill is going to lead to an establishment of a commission that will take care of this sugarcane business. I want to find out from the minister, through you, if these commissions, authorities, boards are really doing what they're supposed to do. First Deputy Speaker, we are creating a sugarcane commission today, and it is our hope that it should work hard so that we should see change being brought by this commission. But the Ministry of Agriculture has so many boards and so many authorities that are draining the country's resources through subvention from these budgets that we pass here. But let us go and see on the ground, are we benefiting from these authorities and these boards as a country? You'll see, First Deputy Speaker, that we are not. Look today, where's the Cannabis Authority? There was so much hype and so much pomp. The country is going to benefit. It's almost gone. And every year, government is pumping money into that authority. But nothing tangible is coming. So we want these commissions, authorities to work. Those that are not working, First Deputy Speaker, should be disbanded. I'll give you another example, First Deputy Speaker, what is happening so that you understand my point. A unit was formed at the ministry, Mega Farms Unit. And what they do, I understand why they do that, because they want experience. They take officers from the ministry and give them these positions of these new institutions, new authorities, to head these institutions. But we expect them to go and make a difference. It's not happening. This institution, Mega Farms Unit, people are taken from the ministry to head this unit. What do they do first, First Deputy Speaker? They go and buy brand new cars for them to use. Yet there were directors in the ministry who were being paid and they were happy. But as soon as they're being moved to this commission, them are double salaries, ukakulandira. Anama fees. They could not wait for us to pass the budget. The minister is my witness. They went and took a loan from a commercial bank to buy for themselves cars to use. Yet there were directors who were okay at the ministry. Now, are they there to help us? I hope the Sugarcane Commission is not going to be one of those. And the minister, please, look at these authorities, look at these boards. Some of them are just draining our resources. Thank you so much, First Deputy Speaker.
Thank you very much, the people of Blantyre City South East. Leader.
Right Honorable, I'm standing for something very important. The first thing is to address you and request the Honorable House. You know, Right Honorable Speaker, the process of registration, us as members of Parliament, we may not always have the guts, the knowledge, the technical know-how of some of the issues that we enact in our bills. We rely on people such as Douglas Maenda, who was a vice chairperson of sugarcane growers for the Lake Shore. Douglas came to this house to lobby and talk to the committee. And soon after that, when he was returning back, the sudden incident happened and died. So in other words, he came to work for Parliament, and therefore I wanted to ask if you would stand for 1 minute of silence for the spirit of Douglas to respect that he came to save Malawians. I therefore beg to move that we all stand in the House and respect the spirit of Douglas Maenda, who died when he came to do
Honourable members,
exercise.
we had a man who came to work in this bill. He helped us. The bill was on the floor, but he just died suddenly. So, as concerned people, let's stand in the minute of silence in honor of Douglas. Those in the gallery, may you stand, please? May the soul of late Douglas, who came and worked with us at Parliament as we're playing this very important bill on sugarcane, and of course the souls of late Martha Lungi, who also had so passionate in sugarcane industry. They all departed without seeing this coming to pass. Today it's calm. So may their souls rest in eternal peace. Amen.
Amen.
Honorable Speaker, I'm just hearing Emukie. What has Emukie done? Eh?
Leader.
Honorable Speaker, may the spirit of Arsenal touch Emukie. I know you don't love Arsenal. I know you are Man U, but what happened yesterday?
I'm Man U and Real Madrid.
What happened yesterday was a clear demonstration on how young people like Saka can really suck you out when you are not careful. Honorable Speaker, the bill we are discussing is critical. Therefore, want to thank all that have contributed, but the Honorable Minister will respond. But for me, I wanted to say something about this bill, and I wanted to agree with elements that have been put across even by Blantyre Southeast. Our farmers have not been benefiting. It's time that our growers, our farmers benefit. The sweat that they have been producing all these years, now this bill is going to empower them. You know, sugarcane now, you can produce quite a lot of products, and we want that to be recognized. And for that reason, this bill is coming to empower our farmers. I want to thank the Honorable Minister of Agriculture, the team, the Growers Association, the Committee on Agriculture, and everybody that loved this bill. This bill has not passed 28 days, but the spirit that has been shown in this House, that all of us can stand for our farmers, our growers out there. That's the spirit that we need as we save Malawians. With those few remarks, I beg to move that the Honorable Minister do end up debate. I beg to move that Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Leader. Honorable members, there's a motion that debate on the bill be curtailed in order for the minister to wind up. Those of the bench say aye. And those of the bench say no. The ayes have it and the motion is carried. Honorable Minister.
Mr. First Deputy Speaker, the Minister of Agriculture would like to express his gratitude to the DPP spokesperson, UDF spokesperson, Agriculture chairperson, the seconder, and also from, I can say, the owner of the bill from Kota, Nsanje Central, Blantyre City Southeast, as well as the leader of the House. What I gathered from the comments have been great support, and I do not want to labor much, but to ask, to thank everyone for the comments, and also to request to be guided that we go to the next stage. So I just want to say thank you. Therefore, I beg to move that secondary reading be taken today and now. I beg to move.
Honourable members, there's a motion that Bill number 1695, Sugar Industry, be read a second time. Those of the bill say aye, and those of the contrary say no. The ayes have it, and the motion is carried.
Government business, bills, committee stage, Bill number 16 of 2025, sugarcane industry.
I now do invite the people of Shehu Central to chair committee stage.
Welcome. Order members, order to my left. Order please. Order please to my left. Welcome to committee stage of Bill number 16 of 2025, Sugarcane Industry Bill. Order members, I wish to inform you that clauses 1 to 5 have no amendments. I now put the question that clauses 1 to 5 stands part of the bill. Those of the opinion say aye, and those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it, and the motion is carried. Order members, I wish to inform you that the chair has received proposed amendments to this bill. I will therefore recognize the Vice Chairperson of Agriculture Committee to move the amendments. Chair. I now recognize the Vice Chairperson to move the proposed amendment to clause number 6.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairperson. I beg to move that clause 6.1, clause 6.1 of the bill be amended by deleting the figure 10 and be replaced with figure 13. And then, Mr. Chairperson, should I continue from 1 to 5 of the clause 6? I should take all of it. Okay, thank you. Secondly, Chairperson, I beg to move that clause 6.1a, Roman numeral 7, be amended.
Chairperson, you are to move one by one. So you have moved clause 6.1 of the bill. So I need to come in. Sir? If no one wishes to speak, I now put the question. The question is that clause 6.1, as moved by the Vice Chairperson, be amended by the House. Those of the opinion say aye. Okay, sorry, I recognize the Minister.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Chairperson. The reason why I recommended that he goes through it is because we had a discussion with the committee chairperson on how to do the amendment. So I thought that maybe if you could go through it before you move a motion, yes, because it will also apply to that motion you wanted to approve on the actual number. So that's why I wanted to recommend he goes through all of it, then I come and respond, and then we move the motion. Okay. Yeah, but then on the number, because we're going to approve a number, which, yes, yeah, because when we discussed with the chairperson, they were proposing on adding 2 growers and 2 millers. We were comfortable with one of each, which will put the number at 13, yeah, at 11, I mean. Yeah, so that's why I wanted guidance, because after we had discussed, because we're also trying to manage the numbers. So instead of 2 growers and 2 millers, we were comfortable with 1 grower, 1 miller to be added in there. So the number is going to be 11 and not 13. So that's why I wanted to ask that we don't move that motion to pass it, because it will tie us with amendments that we agreed on. Thank you. Yeah.
Honourable Minister? Yes, so I will give time to the chairperson to speak on what the Honourable Minister has actually said. On the proposed number to amend, is it 11 or 13?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairperson. Indeed, we actually had a discussion with the Minister to say right now they are working on reducing numbers, that is composition of boards. And then he actually requested if we could put 1 each, that is from the millers and then the Growers Association, instead of 2, meaning to say we can reduce the number from 13 to 11. So when we were discussing, he said, I present it, but he was to come in to actually request that at this stage we agree on 11 other than the 13. And if you also listened from what my chairperson was talking about, he touched on that one to say these boards have to be effective, and one way of them becoming more effective is by reduction of numbers, which is actually being happening across the board. Thank you. And you remember you were also part of the team. We had discussion on the same to say maybe 13 is a bit large number if it could be reduced to 11. Thank you, Mr. Chairperson.
Chairperson, I think I would want to guide in this regard. The moving must be done by the chair, but maybe it will be led as follows: moved by the chair, but as amended by the Honorable Minister, because we don't have it in writing. They are amended, so it will be moved by the chair, but as amended by the Honorable Minister. Then we'll take care of that. Thank you.
So we should move again. Honorable members? Yes, Mangosh Mankibe?
Chair, I totally agree with what the leader has proposed, but just for cleaning up purposes, because these bills, once they are passed, they go for cleaning up, and it's important that they become clear as to what we agreed. So I thought this is a minor amendment. The chair can just stand and replace where there is 13, replace with 11. As simple as all that. Yeah.
Chair.
Okay, thank you, Mangosh Mankibe. Let me recognize the chairperson of the Committee on Agriculture to move again the amendment and replace 13 with 11.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairperson. I beg to move that clause 6.1 of the bill be amended by deleting the figure 10 and be replaced with figure 11. I beg to move.
Thank you. If no one wishes to speak, I now, yes, Mangoji Southwest?
Question. No, question. We are deleting 10 from the motion. We are deleting 10. We are now replacing that 10 with 11. Now, we talked about two, growers and millers. Eh? Okay. All right, okay. I want, so was that supposed to be done here because it is included in the text of the bill? Okay. Thank you very much.
If no one, leader?
Chairperson, I will still insist that it must be laid as moved by the chair and as amended by the minister. Because you can't just do a registration by putting words. No, you can't just say 10 and 11. The minister did mention one grower, one miller. This is registration.
So that's why
yes.
I now put a question. If no one wishes to speak, I now put the question. And the question is that clause 6.1, as moved by the chairperson and as amended by the Honourable Minister of Agriculture, be amended by the House. Those of the opinion say aye, and those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it, the motion is carried. I now put a second question, and the question is that clause 6 as amended by the House stands part of the bill. Those of the opinion say aye, and those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it, the motion is carried. I now recognize the chairperson again of Agriculture to move on the second amendment. So this is the one.
The conch. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairperson. In this case now, on the notice of amendment, it will mean that instead of having 5 clauses, then we will have to reduce. Because as the notice shows, it's showing for 4. And now that maybe on the first clause, we have actually said 11, then the other 2, that is to say, only 2, where we are actually saying 6.1a, Roman numeral 7, be amended by deleting the words "one person of good standing in the society" and replaced with the words "representative of small-scale outgrowers nominated by the growers." So that, I do think, will stand. And then the 4th one will have to be clause 6.1 be amended by inserting Roman numeral, is it 14, to read "one representative of the millers nominated by the Sugarcane Millers Association." So I think those 2 would be the ones to be accommodated. Then the other 2, I will have to leave them out. I don't know if I'm making myself clear. Because if we tackle everything on the clause 6 down to 5.
Chair.
Yes.
All you need is to move the amendment, because those will still stand.
Okay.
Because you are deleting the person of good standing and all that. So that will still stand.
Okay.
So move the motion.
Okay,
move
thank you very much.
Move the amendment.
Chairperson, I beg to move that clause 6.1a, Roman numeral 7, be amended by deleting the words "one person of good standing in the society."
Chair, there is Honorable Whip wants to speak.
Thank you very much, Chair. I wanted to suggest that instead of leaving them out, the Honorable Chair should actually just withdraw the other 2 clauses and then read the others the way it's standing, so that it tallies with the number 11 on top, of which we just did a small amendment. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Whip, I think they can withdraw 3 and 5. Yes. But 2 and 4 will stand.
Yes. That's what I was trying to say.
Yes.
2 and 4 will stand, then I'll leave out 3 and 5. Yeah.
So move 2 now.
I should move 2.
Yes.
Okay. I beg to move that, Chairperson, I beg to move that clause 6.1a, Roman numeral 7, be amended by deleting the words "one person of good standing in the society" and replace with the words "a representative of the small-scale outgrowers nominated by the growers' apex body." I think this also responds to my brother Mangochi's Southwest, is it? Yeah, because from 10, we're removing, yeah.
Thank you, Chair.
Yes.
Yes, Leader.
I want to learn from my colleagues here, because these amendments, I have to be honest, I didn't go through them, but they're acceptable. But the question I was trying to confer with Mangochi Southwest is, when you say a grower's apex body, how many bodies are there? Why can't we just say a grower and then a miller? Because we don't have them as registered bodies. It's different when you're appointing from Malawi Human Rights Commission because it's registered. What if there is no any other body at that particular time? You're going to tie yourself to look for a nominated member by such particular institution. When we say a nominated member, for instance, for Malawi Law Society, because it's a body which is registered and you know it's there. But association, you can't tie a registration with an association because these are voluntary associations. I would like to move and ask if the chair would simply say one grower, one miller, because at all times there will be a grower, at all times there will be a miller. But there could be a time when there's no association, there will be a time when there's no apex body. And then you would have problems to move in and constituting such type of a commission. So I want to agree with an amendment, but I want to propose that let's not put the word nominated by, because these are just associations. They are not legislative bodies. There could be a time when these associations are not there. Yeah. So we'll put this one representative of millers, one representative of growers.
Let me recognize Kota North.
Thank you so much, Honorable Chairperson. In relation to the issue being raised by the Honorable Leader of the House, the law that we are passing does establish an apex body of all growers. What is happening today is in Chikwawa, they've got their own association covering southern region. Salima has one, and Kota has one. And then there is an umbrella body, which is the umbrella body presently called the Sugarcane Growers Association of Malawi, SUGAM. Likewise, the law establishes Millers Association. So there will be an association formed by Ilovo and Salima Sugar. That's what the law says. So it is from those two apex associations where the nominations would come from. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Let us proceed in that case. If we are also putting them in here, that's all right.
Honourable members, I now put a question if no one wishes to speak. And the question is that clause 6(1)(a), as moved by the chairperson of the Committee on Agriculture, clause 6(a), Roman numeral 7. 6(1)(a)(7), as moved by the chairperson of the Committee on Agriculture, be amended by the whole House. Those of the opinion say aye. And those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it, the motion is carried. I now put the second question. The question is that the clause as amended by the House stands part of the bill. Those of the opinion say aye. And those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it, the motion is carried. To move. Where are we withdrawing? Which one? Let me recognize again the chairperson of the committee.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairperson. In this regard, as I already indicated, then I'll move to beg to move that clause 6(1), that is on number 5, be amended by inserting Roman numeral 10 to read.
Chairperson, would you put on record that you're withdrawing clause 3?
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairperson. In the case, we are actually doing our business on this issue. I do withdraw 3 and 4 so that we move to 5 because we've reduced the numbers from 13 to 11. I beg to move, Mr. Chairperson. Yeah, 3 and 4 withdrawn because
Chairperson, 4 and 5, they seem to be similar. Can you explain? 3 and 5, 3 and 5, 3 and 5. Okay, let me
Yeah. Chair, it's the same thing. Because 4 and 5 are exactly the same thing. So if you remove 4 and leave 5, it's the same as removing 5 and keeping 4. So just removing 3 and 4, it will make things even easier. Yeah. So it's exactly the same thing. Yeah. They're the same thing. Yeah. Thank you. So do I put...
Proceed, Chairperson. Chairperson, Agriculture. Proceed.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairperson. Having withdrawn 3 and 4, I go to 5 where I beg to move that clause 6.1 be amended by inserting Roman numeral 10 to read one representative of the Minas nominated by the Sugarcane Minas Association of Malawi. I beg to move.
So is this one? If no one wishes to speak, I now put the question. And the question is that clause 6.10, as moved by the Vice Chairperson, be amended by the whole House. 6.1.10. Clause 6.1.10.
We are inserting 10.
I put the question again, and the question is that clause 6.1 be amended by inserting 10 as moved by the chairperson. Those of the opinion say aye, and those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it, the motion is carried. Yeah. I now put the second question, and the question is that the clause as amended by the House stands part of the bill. Those of the opinion say aye, and those of the contrary say no. The ayes have it, the motion is carried. Honourable members, I wish to inform you that clause 7 has no amendment. And I'll put the question that clause 7 stands part of the bill. Those of the opinion say aye, and those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it, the motion is carried. I now recognize the chairperson of Agriculture Committee to move the proposed amendment clause 8. Chairperson.
Mr. Chairperson, I beg to move that clause 8.5. I beg to move that clause 8 be amended by deleting 5, which reads, the quorum at every meeting of the Commission shall be constituted by 5 members, and insert the words, the quorum at every meeting shall be constituted by 50% plus one of the membership. I beg to move.
Order members, if no one wishes to speak, I now put the question, and the question is that clause 8, as moved by the chairperson, be amended by the House. Those of the opinion say aye, and those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it, the motion is carried. I now put a second question, and the question is that clause 8 as amended by the House stands part of the bill. Those of the opinion say aye, and those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it, the motion is carried. Honour members, I wish to inform you that clauses 9 to 23 have no amendments. And I now put a question that clauses 9 to 23 stands part of the bill. Those of the opinion say aye, and those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it, the motion is carried. Let me again recognize the chair. Members, I have received notice of amendment on clause 24. I now recognize the chair.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairperson. I actually would want to bring to your attention that we had also some discussions with the minister where there is also a very minor amendment that maybe I would wish the minister to clarify before we proceed with clause 24.1. Is that possible? Is that in order?
No, Chair, you first have got to move.
I have to move it first. Okay.
Then the minister can respond.
Thank you very much. Chairperson, I beg to move that clause 24.1 be amended by including 1B, which will read, provisions of this clause shall apply mutatis mutandis to growers association and millers cum planter who own vehicles for purposes of transporting their own sugarcane to the mills. I beg to move.
Let me recognize the Minister of Agriculture.
Thank you very much. Indeed, we did talk with the chairperson. The way the clause in the bill, it is not giving exceptions to anyone. By saying a person shall not transport sugarcane from the catchment area to a sugarcane mill unless the person is registered as a sugarcane transporter by the Commission. That covers everyone. It doesn't matter if you're a miller, a grower, or anything, that one already covers everything. But if we bring clause B or part B to it, it means that it's as if the first part had exceptions. Then we want to bring them in as another category. But we felt that the way it is, it covers everyone. So we wanted to request if we could maintain clause 24.1 the way it is. Assignment. Yeah. Sorry?
Mangwashi Mankibe, you have the floor.
Chair, I understand the minister's view. I also had the same view in the beginning. But I think the reason this provision is being put is to make sure that those growers who have got trucks should not assume that they can just carry their sugarcane without registering. So if you see the way the provision is saying, this provision shall also apply, it's to emphasize, it shall also apply mutatis mutandis to even those growers who have got their own transport. It's emphasizing that they cannot just carry. So it's an obligation which is being put on the growers who have got trucks. Otherwise, they can assume that they are transporters, yes, but I have my own truck, I can just transport. I thought it is important, if it is not contravening the first provision, which the minister is agreeing, everybody is covered, is supposed to register. If it is just emphasizing and buttressing, then why shouldn't we take it? I submit, Chair.
Microphone. Let me recognize Minister of Agriculture.
Just a minute. Chair.
Or leader first.
I think the spirit of the bill is to empower local farmers. Now, if we try to impose quite a lot in terms of them registering as a transport as well, I think maybe their vehicles and transporters being registered, but registered as a transporter, they would have one truck. Would one truck be a transporter? So I would want to agree with the amendment to some extent, and the minister could rethink about it. Yeah. Or
I was actually standing to say that I think let's leave it the way the amendment is, and we accept the amendment and then proceed. The other nitty-gritties, we can take them in their regulations if there'll be anything to consider. But let's leave the amendment. Yeah.
If no one wishes to speak, I now put the question. And the question is that.
He wants to speak. He wants to speak.
Huh? Oh, Machinga Lukwenu?
Thank you very much. I suggest that this clause would be fine even if you remove the Latin clauses that don't make sense. Yeah. And the comma. Just put a comma there. So, Chair, provisions of this clause shall apply to growers, growers associations, millers, and planters who own vehicles for purposes of transporting their own sugarcane to the mills. That's what you want to say. Yes. Remove the Latin phrases.
Honorable Minister of Justice, you want to speak?
Yes, the purpose of I think the purpose is quite clear, as earlier stated by other contributors to the debate, that the idea or the intention is that the registration should apply alike, whether one is a grower or not, or just a transporter. They must register their vehicles. That is the intention. Sometimes use of Latin words or maxims do sometimes cloud the meaning of certain clauses. It can be removed and say that the growers associations, sorry, it can simply read that yes, it can simply read that this didn't get there. The chair, sorry, shall, yeah, provision of this clause shall apply alike and remove mutatis shall apply alike to growers and millers, growers associations and millers, and who own vehicles. So I think we are the same boat. I'm just saying let us simplify the language by removing mutatis and putting alike. Thank you, Chair. Well, it depends whether I want people to understand I think it is just to make it simple. Thank you.
Honorable Machinga Likwenu, you have the floor.
Not to disagree with my brother, just to indicate that we are progressing to make legislation user-friendly. So, mutatis mutandis is things that we used during our time, but modern times, take it out and the bill will mean the same thing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kota North, you have the floor.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Chair. Without delaying the process and agreeing with the learned members that have spoken before me regarding the use of the Latin mutatis mutandis, I think it was put there to distinguish between a transporter who is involved solely to transport somebody's cane from one who is transporting his own. Now, the one who is transporting somebody's cane will have to get certification that indeed there exists a field of cane, and indeed that cane has found space in the mill. Once he gets those two certificates, then he is granted a permit to transport cane. Now, mutatis mutandis implies that it will apply in a similar manner, but with some alterations, with some modifications. And therefore, you find mutatis mutandis being a little more suitable in that context. Because if you are transporting your own cane, you don't have to go to yourself to give yourself certification that indeed that is your own cane. And if you are growing cane, earlier on, you will have gotten permission to get your cane to that particular mill. Hence the usage of that Latin phrase. However, in the interest of time, since the Honorable Minister is here and has promised to make regulations that will clear some of what seems to be confusing, it is possible to let go the Latin.
Let me recognize the Vice Chairperson.
Thank you very much. I am not clear about what the comments and contributions have done, but mutatis mutandis, I do feel, because we had a lengthy discussion as a committee, because these are actually coming from a committee. And if honorable members may be allowed to Google and find the meaning of mutatis mutandis, you will find out that what has been written here will not completely change the first maybe meaning of the whole clause. I think it's like that. Yeah, it will not change anything apart from becoming a little bit more flexible. That's what we discussed at committee level, and we discussed this at length.
Chairperson.
Yes.
The issue here is it's either you replace mutatis mutandis with alike, or you just put a comma.
Can I read the meaning?
Or you leave it as it is.
Leaving it
but
as
the meaning is coming almost the same thing.
Yeah, because mutatis mutandis, when comparing two or more cases or situations, making necessary alterations while not affecting the main point at issue. That's all what it means. Yeah, so we can move on. I don't think they, yes, thank you very much.
Thank you. Honourable members, if no one wishes to speak, I now put the question, and the question is that clause 2024-1, as moved by the Vice Chairperson, be amended by the House. Those of the opinion say aye, and those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it, the motion is carried. I now put the second question, and the question is that the clause as amended by the House stand part of the bill. Those of the opinion say aye, and those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it, the motion is carried. Honourable members, I wish to inform you that clauses 25 to 43 have no amendments. I now put the question that clauses 25 to 43 stand part of the bill. Those of the opinion say aye, and those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it, the motion is carried. Honourable members, I wish to inform you that we have received notice of amendment on clause 44. I now recognize the chair.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairperson. I beg to move that clause 44 be amended by including 3A, which will read, the cane supply agreement shall conform to the guidelines set out by the Commission, and B, which will read, without prejudice to the generality of subsection 3A, the cane supply agreement shall state the functions to be performed by the Commission in its execution. I beg to move.
Honourable members, if no one wishes to speak, I now put the question, and the question is that clause 44, as moved by the Vice Chairperson of the Agriculture Committee, be amended by the House. Those of the opinion say aye, and those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it, the motion is carried. I now put the second question, and the question is that the clause as amended by the House stand part of the bill. Those of the opinion say aye, and those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it, the motion is carried. Honourable members, I wish to inform you that clauses 45 to 64 have no amendments. I now put the question that clauses 45 to 64 stand part of the bill. Those of the opinion say aye, and those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it, the motion is carried. Honourable members, I wish to inform you that the bill has a schedule. I now put the question that the schedule stand part of the bill. Those of the opinion say aye, and those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it, the motion is carried. Honourable members, this marks the end of committee stage of Bill number 16 of 2025 Sugarcane Industry Bill. Thank you very much for your active participation.
Clerk, Sergeant at arms, time not on our side. Thank you. We are in the days of Emu here.
Government business, bills, report stage, Bill number 16 of 2025, sugarcane industry.
Honourable Minister, reporting.
Mr. First Deputy Speaker, I beg to report that Bill number 16, Sugarcane Industry Bill, passed through committee stage with amendments. I therefore beg to move that the third reading be taken today and now.
Honourable members, there's a motion that bill number 1605, Sugar Industry, I repeat, honourable members, I beg to move the third reading of bill number 1605, Sugar Industry, be taken today and now. Those of the bill say aye, and those of the contrary say no. The ayes have it, and the motion is carried.
Government business, bills, third reading. Bill number 16 of 2025, sugarcane industry.
Honourable Minister.
Mr. First Deputy Speaker, I beg to move that Bill number 16, Sugarcane Industry Bill 2025, be now read for the third time and passed. And before I beg to move, Mr. First Deputy Speaker, since we might not be meeting again, Parliament, until September 16, this might also be my last bill to present. I just wanted to express my gratitude to the President for appointing me the Minister of Agriculture and Lands before this, for trusting me to carry this big responsibility to serve Malawians in the agriculture sector. And also through your office for guidance, support, and everything you've done. I beg to move that third reading be read and passed. But I just wanted to say thank you for the support. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honourable Minister of Agriculture. Honourable members, I move a question that Bill number 16 of 2005 for industry be read a third time and passed. Those of the bill say aye. Those of the contrary say no. The ayes have it, and the motion is carried. The bill has passed. Congratulations, Honourable Minister. Congratulations, all farmers of sugarcane. Sanity has come. Light has dawned. Malawians are farmers, hard workers. Now they need to enjoy their hard-earned sweat. Congratulations, all sugarcane farmers. And in the same vein, I want to urge all members, this is the time to participate in serious farming. During Kamuzu, every MP had a farm, every minister had a farm. We can do likewise. Let's engage ourselves in serious farming. Thank you. Congratulations once again, Leader of the House.
Honourable Speaker, the members of Parliament, they had energy to forego a health break, which is a 30-minute health break, just to make sure that this bill is done. They couldn't even allow to go out, just to make sure that our people, our farmers are happy. Therefore, the leader has a suggestion, because as we come back, we'll be remaining with about 17 minutes to carry our work. And I therefore beg to move that the House do adjourn early for today, in order for us to handle business. After that is done, allow me, when the motion has been carried, to rise again and propose. I know tomorrow is Private Members' Day, but definitely when they are kind enough, I need to show what business we can be able to do tomorrow. I beg to move.
Thank you very much, Leader. Honourable members, indeed, to echo on the sentiments by the Leader, you had to forego a healthy break in order to tackle this very important bill. It's a commendable job. God bless you for that noble task. Honourable members, there's a motion that we take an area judgment, and then we commence business again tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. Those of the bill say aye. Those of the contrary say no. The ayes have it, and the motion is carried. Leader.
Therefore, to thank you, particularly, First Deputy Speaker, in the manner you chaired proceedings today, and also to thank the Honourable Minister, in fact, to congratulate him for being the minister who has made sure that the sugarcane bill comes in, and to thank the spokespersons from political opposition parties, and indeed all members who have done this good job. Tomorrow, Thursday, it's a private members' day. However, tomorrow, time permitting, we wanted to plead that the time should be used for one bill, which is critical, the mental health bill. But afterwards, I would also want to move that if they give it back to us as government, because it could be our last Thursday, that we handle some reports that are critical. The reports that were supposed to be handled today have not been handled today. You know, particularly, Right Honorable Speaker, our standing orders ask us to handle reports on Wednesdays, and we wanted to prioritize the sugarcane bill. So if indeed members would be kind enough to give us the day tomorrow, we should be able to handle some critical reports which are very, very important. Thereafter, we would move on and do some business. I beg to report, and I wish you good evening, and may God bless you, and may the spirit of Arsenal be in all of us. Thank you.
Honorable Leader, I'm being guided that instead of us tomorrow pushing for a submit the order paper, move a motion that the order paper must reflect the reports, if that's okay with you, Leader. Thank you.
Much obliged, and I therefore beg to move that may the order paper tomorrow have reports. I beg to move.
Thank you, Honorable Leader of the House and members. There's a motion that tomorrow, being a private members' day, the order paper, level standing orders must be waived in order of the order paper include reports that are only reflected on a Wednesday. But they have to be there on tomorrow, regardless of that being a private members' day. Those of the people say aye, and those of the good opinion say no. The ayes have it, and the motion is carried. Before we adjourn, we are blessed again this afternoon through the people of Mzimba Sorora, Honorable Member Jacob Hara, Walisha Wahara, our Mbalisha, that he has he's been blessed to host 30 pastors and teachers from Mzimba Sorora. Walisha tumpempani mchanyo maukani, taonga mwiza kuno kumpara ya marango, mwana winu ngwene yu Jacobo huyo. Iwe Jacobo haukapo. Jacobo haukapo. Jacobo ngwene yu. Ugu kula wajabi muhangu, wa mtu, haukana mtu yai mbale kuno tukuyana makola kuno. Hapo pala chihana, pa haukana chihana. Haukana chihana. Wapape muonini. Yewe. Kweniso tilini kweniso tina wandovi waukaronga ndovi aukanuka ndovi uyo alikoyo ninjani wena muluwa pala akaraire hapa au kosoro akaraire aukana akaraire kweniso tina mvaro hapa nduna yitu ninjani na muluwa ninjani mnyake hapa uyo wakuteweta ninjani kwina achimuntu banda waliko kwa charimo achimuntu banda mcharimo au gani data awatauzana papi walisa huko leo yo ni achimuntu banda we mwana winu huyo akamurepo mlinguni akamurepo ambwenta mara njani atatawiza watatawiza kweniso muno muli muntu mulala chomene emuhiye waluta papi mwe kweni muno tina mzungu witu mzungu auka mzungu iwe muntu mswesi huyo muntu mswesi huyo uyende Sulemani huyo kweniso tina chidumba wa uchuwa kurumpi sento huyo uyo ukayusha chihana uyo ngwende uyo yoli hapo huyo katwafu alinguni kashoti yako mbwenu kazombo ndine pano vanarume nadi tawonga. Minister of Health, just stand and wave as you say bye bye. Uyu mzukulu kamuzu kumbize mzukulu kamuzu uyu. Mbwenu. Yai, kwenye leader of opposition wale mwene muno chaponda uka chaponda. Leader of opposition ni chaponda uyu. Yai, it was that lighter moment. We've taken an early adjournment, and as a house, we salute you, our pastors. We need your prayers. As we draw towards elections, we need a peaceful Malawi. So you pray for us. Unless the Lord God leads us, Malawi can't go anywhere. So we need His grace to be on us. So here we are pleased to have you, our teachers, and our walishawi tutawonga mwiza mwende makula. Kwenye mwana mwene yu Jacobo huyu. Mkapadia abantu kuchikaya, mwana mwene yu kubuta yai yewe. Otherwise, all members, time to adjourn. Stay blessed. House, adjourn. Tomorrow, 9:30.
Well, that's how the House has concluded its business today, Wednesday, 9th April 2025. The House has today deliberated on and passed Bill number 16 of 2025, the Sugarcane Industry Bill. The bill seeks to provide a comprehensive legal framework for the promotion and regulation of the growing of sugarcane for industry purposes. The bill therefore provides the registration and licensing of growers, transporters, and millers, among others, to encourage investment in the cultivation of sugarcane for production of sugar, ethanol, and other sugarcane products and byproducts. Just a reminder, we are in the final week, first meeting of Parliament in the 51st session, as the House is expected to rise on Friday, 11th April 2025. The House has since adjourned to tomorrow, Thursday, at 9:30 in the morning. Zakambirana za aphungu lero lachitatu zathera pamenepa. Aphungu lero akambirana ndi kuvomereza Bill number 16 ya 2025 Sugarcane Industry. Cholinga cha bill iyi ndi kukhazikitsa malamulo oyendetsera, kutukula ndi kulimbikitsa ulimi wa mzimbe kuti anthu ndi makampani ofuna kulima komanso kukonza zinthu zochokera ku mzimbe monga shuga azikhala ovomerezeka ndi boma kudzera mukalembera ndi ziphaso. Mongokumbutsana, nyumba ya malamulo ikuyembekezeka kutsiriza zokambirana mu mkumano umenewu lachisanu pa 11 April 2025. Panakali pano wachiwiri kwa spika wa nyumba ya malamulo amene olemekezeka Madaliso Kazombo MP ayimisa zokambiranazi kuti aphungu azakambiraninso mawa nthawi ya 9:30 mawa. Malo mwa anzanga onse ochokera kuno ku Parliament Television tikupempheni kuti mpitirize kuonera zotsatirazi lero mnayi ndine Fani Mbwana.